Join us for a journey through history as we explore the untold stories of border wars in antiquity. Discover how empires rose and fell not just through grand invasions or revolutions, but often along the fragile lines that divided them. These borderlands were where ambition met resistance, shaping the world we live in today. Witness forgotten battles, where history was rewritten in blood and stone as empires collided and new chapters were written. Experience the epic tales of courage, conquest, and conflict in this captivating documentary. The clash of borders between the Roman Empire and the Parthian Empire was a monumental event that unfolded across the Middle East. These frontiers were not just lines on a map, they were areas of constant tension. Rome was driven by the desire for glory and control of crucial trade routes, while Parthia fiercely protected its ancient Persian legacy. In 53 BCE, the Roman senator Crassus, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, led an army deep into Parthian territory in the hopes of securing a swift victory. However, at the Battle of Carrhae, his legions were decisively defeated by the skilled Parthian horse archers. This defeat was not just a loss for Rome, but it also served as a powerful message that the East would not succumb to conquest so easily. In the ensuing centuries, Rome and Parthia engaged in a series of border wars across Mesopotamia. The cities of Antioch, Edessa, and Dura Europos changed hands numerous times as each empire vied for control. Both Rome and Parthia came to realize that their borders were not mere obstacles, but rather haunting wounds that never truly healed. The struggle for dominance and control across these frontiers demonstrated the enduring tensions and conflicts that defined the relationship between these two ancient giants. Deep in the east, a fierce conflict raged on the Han Empire of China, locked in a struggle against the nomadic Xiongnu. The Great Wall stood not just as a barrier, but as a symbol of the ongoing battle. The Han sought to safeguard their trade routes and protect their lands from the relentless raids of the Xiongnu. The Xiongnu, skilled horsemen of the steppe, would launch their attacks swiftly and vanish into the distance before the Han could retaliate. In 133 BCE, the Han launched a major campaign under Emperor Wu, aiming to ensnare the elusive Xiongnu. However, the nomads' intimate knowledge of the terrain allowed them to evade capture, inflicting heavy casualties upon the Han forces. Yet, undeterred, the Han persisted in their efforts, forming alliances, dispatching spies, and even resorting to marriage diplomacy. Through a combination of trade, military might, and patience, the Han gradually expanded their influence into Central Asia. Their efforts laid the foundation for the Silk Road, a vital conduit that connected diverse civilizations, an achievement forged through centuries of border conflicts. The Persian-Greek borderlands were a place of conflict and cultural clash, where the great Persian Empire and the Greek city-states faced off in a battle of ideologies. The border between East and West was a line that separated empire from freedom and order from individuality. In 490 BCE, Darius the Great sent his armies to punish Athens for rebellion, leading to the legendary Battle of Marathon, where a smaller Greek force managed to stop the Persian advance. This was just the beginning of a series of clashes that would shape the course of history. 10 years later, Xerxes, Darius's son, returned with a massive army, leading to the epic battles of Thermopylae and Salamis. These famous clashes were the culmination of decades of smaller border struggles, including raids, revolts, and shifting alliances across the Aegean. The Greco-Persian border was more than just a military line. It was the meeting point of two conflicting worldviews that would go on to shape Western identity forever. The struggles and triumphs in this borderland played a crucial role in shaping the course of history, and their impact is still felt today. In the ancient land of Egypt, just south of the Nile, lay the powerful kingdom of Nubia. The relationship between Egypt and Nubia was complex. They were both partners and rivals. Trade flourished along the Nile, but so did conflicts and battles. During the Middle Kingdom, Egypt expanded its borders southward, establishing fortresses along the river to maintain control. However, as time passed, Egypt began to weaken. and Nubia saw an opportunity to rise. The Kingdom of Kush was established, and the balance of power began to shift. In the 8th century BCE, the rulers of Kush made a bold move. They marched their armies north, conquered Egypt, and founded the 25th dynasty. For a brief period, the tables turned, and the conquerors became the rulers. This cycle of conquest and reversal demonstrates that border wars were never truly final. Instead, they were ongoing conversations, written in stone and blood between equals. The history of Egyptian-Nubian conflicts serves as a reminder of the intricacies of power dynamics and the ebb and flow of influence in ancient civilizations. In the ancient land of Africa's Horn, a kingdom known as Axum rose to power between the years 100 and 700 CE. It held control over vital trade routes that spanned across the Red Sea, connecting Africa, Arabia, and the Mediterranean. This strategic positioning not only brought wealth and influence to Axum, but also made it a prime target for neighboring kingdoms and rival tribes. The Axumites were not without their adversaries. They clashed with the powerful Himyarite kingdom in Arabia and faced opposition from various tribes in Sudan and Ethiopia. Despite these challenges, Axum thrived under the leadership of King Caleb, who in the 6th century CE launched a daring invasion across the Red Sea to come to the aid of Christian allies in Yemen. This bold military campaign marked one of the earliest recorded instances of a cross-sea invasion in history. However, as time passed, the fortunes of Axum began to wane. Shifting trade routes and the emergence of dominant Islamic empires gradually isolated Axum from its once prosperous networks. The kingdom saw its borders shrink, its once bustling ports fall silent, and ultimately, one of the world's great empires faded into the mists of legend. Today, the ancient ruins of Axum stand as silent witnesses to a time when empires clashed, and the boundaries of the world were continuously redrawn through endless struggles and conflicts. The rise and fall of the Axumite frontier serve as a poignant reminder of the ephemeral nature of power and the ever-changing tides of history.